single person on this world. He loves you. Now, I just want to play a clip from Eminem. I know y'all think I'm crazy, but oh, we hear it. Oh, no. I'm going to have to skip this other football clip. But this right here, never mind. I'll just tell y'all the lyrics. This is what Eminem said in his song. It's called Lose Yourself. And in the Bible, Jesus says, like, if somebody, like, gains their life, you know, for themselves, they're going to lose their life. But if they lose themselves for my sake, they will find it. And I was thinking, like, yo, we don't talk like, yo, if you lose yourself, like, we don't say that. Like, let's say I gave my all. I'll say stuff like that. You know what I mean? We don't say lose yourself. But Eminem's song is called Lose Yourself, right? And in it, he's a pagan. But listen to what he says. He says, look, if you had one shot or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it or just let it slip? And the chorus says, you better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. And through that song, Eminem, he wanted to be a rapper. The 9 to 5 wasn't working for him. He tried it. He failed the first time. You know what that made him do? That made him work harder. He went work harder, and he made it. And the song is telling us, look, if you had one opportunity, would you give your all in it? And my question is, look, we got one life to live. Are you giving your all in it? I don't care if you messed up. God don't kill it. God, he does care about your mess ups. I ain't going to say that. But it's not like it'll disqualify you. You know what I mean? God, he's a forgiving God. He loves us. He wants the best for us. I say all this to say, oh, I didn't even bring my points in real quick. All right. But the acronym is FAT. That was the only thing I could think of. F, you got to face the facts. There's great opportunity or great loss. We see that in Ezra 5:1. The prophets Haggai, Zechariah encourage them, look, there's great opportunity or great loss. 2, you got to ask questions. Ask questions. God, are you calling me to do this? If you're sure that God is calling you to do this, guess what? He'll be faithful. Then you ask God for help. That's called prayer. You ask others for help. T, you have to take the initiative. Nothing ever gets done if you don't start. If you never start, how you going to finish? If you don't begin something, how you going to complete it? And use your imagination and common sense. If you remember those facts, you'll be cool, all right? Now, this is what I want to close with, Jesus' words. Because my boy Chaz was like, you going to talk about the New Testament in there? All right, I got you, dog. And in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, Paul says we are now temples of the Holy Spirit. God, he's a holy God. He ain't going to dwell in something that's defiled. So God choosing to dwell in us, his belief in us is beyond anything we could ever think. I used to be so depressed. You know what I mean? But I learned that God believed in me. You know what I mean? I read a book called Velvet Elvis, my dog Rob Bell. But anyway, God believes in us. He believes in us more than we can ever possibly believe in ourselves. But right here in Matthew chapter 5, verse 13, Jesus' words, salt and light. He's talking about us. You are the salt of the earth. We're the salt of the earth. What good is salt if it has lost its flavor? Can you make it salty again? It will be thrown out and trampled underfoot as worthless. You are the light of the world, like a city on a hilltop that cannot be hidden. No one ever lights a lamp and then puts it under a basket. Instead, a lamp is placed on a stand where it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men that they may see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven. Check this. Jesus said in John chapter 1, he said, I am the light, and when there's light, darkness flees. Darkness flees from light. I learned that when I took ecology here. It was like, it's mad simple, but whenever the lights are off and you turn the switch on, darkness flees. Light always overpowers darkness. And here, Jesus calls us light of the world. All right, look, it's a fact. The world is fallen. The world is dark, but we are light. So we come in and we influence the world for the light, for Jesus. Now, I'm not really good with the light analogy, but I can bang it out with the salt analogy. All right, look. Back in that time when Jesus wrote this, they didn't have really refrigerators. So salt, it wasn't really a flavor, it was a preservative, all right? Salt was meant to preserve that, you know what I mean? Keep it good longer. So Jesus says you are the salt of the earth. But guess what? If salt is not preserving, what is it good for? He says, what good is salt if it has lost its flavor? Can you make it salty again? No. It'll be thrown out and trampled under for that word. The main point is this. God has called us to be lights and salt in this world. We're not supposed to be running from the world like, oh, woe is me, I'm a sinner. No. We are supposed to be influencing the world for the light of Jesus. This is the whole point, main point. Don't give up. If God has promised you something, if God has told you something, and you think it's crazy, but if you know, others might think it's crazy, if you know that God promised it to you, he will be faithful and bring it to pass. I never thought I could be a pastor, a preacher. You know what I mean? But my dream is to plant a poetry lounge that will be a church one day in Washington, D.C. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm believing. I just want to tell y'all, do not give up. Why? Because God has not given up on you. In 1 John, I think it says, we love God because he first loved us. He reached out first. He died on the cross. He chose the nation of Israel. Don't give up on your dreams.